everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I am your host, Lana, Reid, and today on this day, I have the fortune, pleasure of sitting down with another gentleman of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I have the president of Sigma Delta Lambda Chapter out in Southfield, Michigan. I have Brother Blair Ellison. And we will sit down and talk with him in a second about all the wonderful work that his chapter is doing out there. But first and foremost, I take a quick moment to pause, say thank you to you, sir, for making time for me today. Time is a gift. Once we give it, we cannot get it back. So I truly appreciate you setting aside this time to sit down and talk with me. And with that, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're going to spend some time talking about how amazing these alphas are. You guys are just doing it. But first and foremost, I'm going to talk a little bit about you, sir.
Okay.
talk a little bit about you, because I was roaming around the internet getting ready for today's show, and I stumbled across an article, and it happened to mention that you are the youngest brother in your chapter.
I am the youngest sitting brother in my chapter well, we brought in more people, but for the longest, I was the youngest, yes.
Okay. And the president of the chapter.
Youngest president, yes.
Okay. So I immediately, when I read that, it came to mind this picture of, sometimes how we're driving our parents around in the car and they're saying, hey, you missed that turn, and you're going to slow down a little bit. Then you see that sign back there, and at some point you have to say, I got this. Right. So just curious, being the young guy and leading the pack, how's that working out for you?
You hit the nail on the head. I definitely say that. You hit the nail on the head. And I think it's all about balance too, because I came into the fraternity when I was 23, going on 24. So adult, of course, but coming into the fraternity where in this particular chapter where we had so many people that have served at many different levels, it was really a balance to say, okay, I can drive the car, but I'm still gonna need you to tell me the directions, And 8 years later, this is my third and hope maybe final term as president. So
third term is okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Awesome. Okay, so let's break this down for the folks who might not know. How long does a president serve?
So it varies per chapter, but in my particular chapter is 1 year terms.
Okay, 1 year terms. And your particular chapter has been around since when?
So we're the new kids on the block in Michigan.
Yes.
We have been around since July 21st, 2012.
Okay, so you have been hanging in there for a large part of that.
Yep. Initiated fall 2014. So yeah, we were part of my particular line was part of the second line to come into the chapter. So
awesome. And so you said you guys were new kids on the block, but that doesn't mean you guys didn't come out swinging. You guys have, when it comes to Michigan, you guys have won some awards there already, right?
We have two-time district chapter of the year, different awards and recognitions across Southfield, just making an impact there, and just showing people, hey, we're small, but we're mighty.
Mighty, small but mighty. That's right. Us, I'm 5'3" and some change, so I'm small but mighty. I work with that. I rock with that.
There you go.
People might not be aware, but Southfield is actually part of Detroit, right?
Metro Detroit, yep. So probably, just to put it in context, where I live is maybe about 20 minutes from downtown Detroit. So
okay. And Detroit is pretty vast. Are there many alumni chapters in Detroit?
Oh man, so Gamma Lambda is the Detroit chapter. Okay. So they're not only the biggest in Michigan, but they are the third alumni chapter founded in the whole fraternity.
Okay.
So we have the pleasure, that their house is actually a historic landmark and everything. So yeah, a lot of dealings for the fraternity probably came through downtown Detroit at some time from 1906 to now.
Okay, so Detroit is rich in history for the Alphas. Okay, all right.
Definitely.
Third, you said third?
Yep. Yep, they are the third alumni chapter founded in the organization. So they have the rich history of pretty much seeing some of our founders come through there. And just to think about that alone, being able to step foot somewhere a lot of our founders were, that's like, man, it's a big thing. And even the brothers that have come from there are some of my personal friends. And of course, we're all fraternity brothers, but they've helped me navigate more than they probably even know.
Awesome. Well, I want to, because I have such a short period of time, and I want to go through some of the work that you guys are doing as a chapter in the Southfield area. And I have a list here of just a few. I can't talk about everything you guys are doing.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, let me just, close my eyes and pick a few. But I have some here that I want to let everybody know that you guys have worked with, are working with in the area. And the first one I want to talk about is Spaulding For Children. Could you explain like what that organization is about and how you guys are involved with them?
Yeah, so that's a newer initiative we took up actually not too long ago. And basically with Spaulding For Children is we take up a donation for basketballs, and we donate them to a center for children in need. And they're able to supply basketballs for the kids who may come to the center or after school activities or things like that, because we see a lot of kids who, if you put a ball in their hand, that may be the difference between going to play basketball, football, or dealing drugs or anything of that nature. So just giving them a ball takes away a lot of those decisions that they have to make. So
yeah, there you go. You got to get them young. Now, as I move into one of the next things I saw you do, first and foremost, I want to commend you guys, because I am not a cold weather person. I don't do cold. I don't do cold. But I saw you guys out there giving away some meals. I think you guys partnered with Meals on Wheels. And if I'm remembering correctly, that is actually a national program of Alpha Phi Alpha, correct?
It's a national initiative that we do, but not necessarily a national partnership.
Okay.
So you'll probably see a lot of our different chapters and organizations do Meals on Wheels. But to your point, it could almost be a national partnership how much we do it. But yeah, that's a big one for us because we do it on the major holidays. Okay. So Christmas, we've done New Year's and even Thanksgiving. That's a big thing that we love to do. And for me, it's even more special because my birthday actually falls on Thanksgiving sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been many mornings waking up, getting my birthday cake together, and then going to serve, coming back.
Going to serve. Awesome. I love it. And I don't know if it was the same event or program, or one of the brothers was kind enough, generous enough to play Santa Claus for the kids.
Yes. So we have a brother that brother Santa Larry. He's in I believe the Minnesota area, and he he's done so many things just by being Santa Claus. And he's just a historical context. He was the first Black Santa Claus in the Mall of America. So he's taken that, and once the pandemic happened, one of our brothers got in touch with him to do virtual readings for the kids and stuff like that. So we did that a couple times during the pandemic, and to add on to our literacy initiative, we sent some of the kids books as well. So yeah, we were able to, that's a good man right there.
Goodness gracious, y'all got some history. First Black Santa in the Mall of America.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I've been out there one time, and I was like, okay, is this ever gonna be over with? Okay, just walking along.
It's more of an amusement park, right?
Yeah, indeed. You mentioned the pandemic. Did that really adjust or shift how you guys operated and navigated, and coming out of it, will that change the way you do your programs and initiatives and stuff like that?
Yeah, it definitely put a different element on it. Okay. I was one of the few brothers, because my background is in technology.
Okay.
So I told him, I said, brothers, look, like this is this is obviously different times, but we can reach a lot more people by being at home and still making an impact. I mean, we were able to do the Santa Larry event, and then even giving away our scholarships. We give scholarships away every year, and we were able to bring the students on, and we live streamed it on Facebook and gave away a couple $1,000s and everything. So we've had different events through Zoom, and we've still been able to reach people. So I think mentally, of course, we all had to adjust, but once it comes to putting on worthwhile programming, we still hold meetings virtually and everything, but I think it's given us another layer to a lot of the things we already do.
Okay. So are your meetings back to in person, or you guys are going to continue on, you think, with the Zoom thing?
We're still on Zoom right now, but it's funny you mentioned that, because we're actually looking to go back in person fairly soon, probably within the next month or two. Just because we still want to think about the brothers who are not necessarily too comfortable. So we might do a couple here and still have virtual, and then increase it as we go on, at least until the end of the fraternal year. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Just wondering how everybody's trying to navigate through this COVID pandemic and coming out of it, and what does this new normal look like? So, especially because you guys, you're so heavily invested in the community, and I was just wondering how it shifted things for you.
Yeah.
You touched on something real quick. You mentioned your scholarships, your education. Is that the Jewel Continuum Foundation?
Yep.
Okay. So I guess explain some of that. What all you guys do there?
Yeah. So with the Jewel Continuum Foundation, that's our scholarship arm of our particular chapter. And what you'll see a lot of times is, so just in the Michigan area where I am, there's about 4 chapters not too far from each other. And we all have a scholarship arm, to where we give away scholarships to deserving, usually high school students, but it varies depending on which chapter. So for ours, it's primarily graduating seniors. And then we'll put out an essay prompt and a rubric and everything. And for the winners, we usually celebrate them at our White Jacket Scholarship Ball, which is also held on our anniversary. So we usually use that as our celebration for being around for another year, and celebrating the students going off to college. So it's always a fun time. And those white jackets,
Alphas do like to clean up. Alphas do like to clean up.
that white jacket is something, man.
Yes, indeed. You brothers do need to clean. You do like to clean up. What are the requirements for the kids to get the scholarships? The GPA and all that stuff?
Yep. So typically GPA does play a role. We keep it at a 2.5 usually, but we also have the rubric of typically around 750 to 1,000 words, and it's a different prompt usually every year depending on what our oratorical contest was. So we'll use that prompt and let the high school students kind of expound on it a little bit. And we pretty much, that's a lot of the things, just a simple APA format to follow for the students. So we found that helps with the transition with their writing as they go into college.
Gotcha. That's awesome. You guys have really been invested in the younger generation. I just think it's wonderful and phenomenal. We catch them young, we can guide and direct some futures, so I think it's so important. And I encourage anybody who's listening to this, watch this, to go to Southfield Alphas Instagram, and you will see some adorable pictures of these brothers standing outside of an elementary school, giving daps to the young kids as they start school. And that's you guys have a partnership with Stevenson Elementary?
Yes, ma'am. Stevenson Elementary.
What is the work that you guys do there with them? Because that was just cute.
Yeah, those are pretty much our best friends. We do everything from the welcome back that you probably saw. The students cheering them on, and that goes a long way, because a lot of those students are scared, and it's first day of school. We've been able to partner with them with career days, donuts with dads, with students that didn't have a father to show up.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've pretty much just stepped into, like, obviously a partnership, but an administrative role, a father figure role, and that's different for me because I'm only 32, so I'm like, well,
get you some practice in. Get you
look,
some
right. I'm like, I'll send them back, but I'll eat a donut with them or something.
Don't put too much pressure on me.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out some of this stuff myself.
I'm telling you, I'm like, look, we're all kids in here.
Give me some of them crayons. I want to color too.
I'm telling you, I love it.
This is we're talking about the kids. Sigma Delta Lambda can be considered the Mufasas of the Pride. You guys have some little Simba cubs that you guys are in charge of. Alpha Esquires, I saw.
Yes, ma'am. Yep, we do have Alpha.
Who are these little young kids?
So they are young kids who come to us and just want direct mentoring.
Okay.
Yep, we hold our Alpha Esquire meetings once a month, and those are usually check-ins, like as far as how they're doing, grades. And the cool thing about it is actually my vice president, my brother Quentin Lott, he's head over it, and he has them run their meetings kind of like we run ours. Okay. So yeah, it gets them going, and they start from I think 6th grade up or 7th grade up.
Okay.
Yeah, so once they make that transition even to high school, because they're going to be running for National Honor Society and all these other clubs, so now at least they know how to run a meeting, how to address people in a professional setting, how to tie ties, how to do all these different things that they may not necessarily have a male role model to teach them. Gotcha. That's just, like we mentor a lot, but those are like direct mentees.
Gotcha. So how do the young guys get involved with the program there in Southfield? Are there requirements or anything?
Yeah, so with that, we have a application that they're able to find out on there. Mm-hmm. And I believe the QR code is on our website if anybody listening is interested. But once you go on there and check it out, you see the requirements as far as what we expect from you as a kid and you as a parent. And then we go through an interview process and we see what you're involved in and everything. And of course, grades are considered, but we still want to make sure that we're mentoring where we need it. So that's where the interview process and things of that nature come in place. So it's really about fostering a relationship for us and the kids and the parents to hold everybody accountable, you know.
True. Okay, got it. Now, and you said the youngest age for that starts at when?
I believe it's 6th grade.
Okay, 6th grade. Okay, all right. I like that. Okay, get them young.
Get them young. Get them early.
and I want to kind of continue along this theme because it's always been so impressive to me that you guys do pour into the younger generation. Mm-hmm. I want to cover one more project that I saw that you guys work on. Well, no, I'm a lie. Maybe 2 more things I saw you guys working on.
It's all good.
Get me the line. I'm honest with mine. Yeah, I'm lying. I'm honest with mine. I got questions.
Hey, I got answers. I got time too.
Okay. But one of the things I saw you guys do for the young folks is this amazing program that people need to be aware of is the Angel Tree Project that I've seen you guys partner with in the past. Kind of explain what that project is and how you guys network with them or involved with them.
Yeah, so with the Angel Tree Project, that was something that I was blessed to get in right after I crossed, and basically with that program is we usually partner with the church. I know it was Calvary Baptist, but we're kind of in transition right now to see where the need is. But we get families, and then if they have a parent that is not able to provide so much then for the year, or may have a parent that's incarcerated or dealing with other issues, we step in and make Christmas happen. We in the particular one I think you're talking about, we were able to go to Target and just did a shopping spree. Yep. So we've done that, and we've done, we've just done a collection of toys for brothers, and we've done this with shoes and clothes and things of that nature. So but yeah, with that particular project, we partner with the church and see basically who's in need, and we kind of take from their list at that point.
Oh, got some clothes and some toys, and people walked away so fresh and so clean, thanks to the Southfield.
Look, I'm telling you, some of that stuff, I'm like, man, you got Jordans and
Well, wait a minute, I'm counting my little paycheck right here. You got some Jordans? Wait a minute.
Right. I mean, it's a blessing, but I'm like, man, I wanted those.
Look, I could have rocked those. Wait.
Right.
Awesome. Well, let me continue on. I got one more. Like I said, I got one more question, and I'm gonna move on here. But one of the things that you guys do, and like I said, I'm not a cold weather person, so I truly commend you on this particular project, and especially because in the United States, from east to west, north to south, we are struggling with a homeless problem, unhoused problem. And I saw that you guys partnered with the organization, Coalition for Temporary Shelter.
COTS. Yeah.
Okay. What is that? I'm trying.
Yep. Oh, you got it.
What was that? What's that about? And what did you guys do for them?
Yeah, so with COTS, they are a shelter that takes in usually women and children, but if the father is involved, then they'll take the whole families, and it's all depending on what room they have at the actual shelter.
Okay.
So usually where we came in was we serve food. We would come in and help the staff out usually once or twice a month, and we usually would do breakfast time. So anything from breakfast to cleaning up a little bit around the areas. I remember one time going there for Thanksgiving, and that was the most experience I had with the turkey, cleaning the turkey and everything. So me and my line brother, I was like, man, all right. But just to, see the looks on the people's faces and the kids and everything, because they're up early just to eat, and they don't know, because of course with shelters it's on a time basis.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'm just here to eat cereal and sausage patties, and
they got some turkey that day.
Yep, they did get turkey. They got, we made sure that they did have not only a good breakfast, but as far as serving for Thanksgiving and making sure some of their food was prepped, we did a lot that day, that for the Thanksgiving, and then of course moving on with the breakfast serving and everything. So yeah, COTS held a special part in our hearts for a while.
Man, oh man, I know they love to see you coming. They love to see. So what serving work is on the pipeline for 2023?
Man, we've done so many things already, and so with our fraternal year, it actually ends around, I want to say, June.
Okay.
So yeah, right now we're doing the reading literacy. So we're going into schools, and it's like a whole database for like Southfield public schools where they're looking for people to read to the kids.
Okay.
We've done different things with Forgotten Harvest. That's an area around here. It's kind of like a thrift store.
Okay.
So yeah, we've helped them.
Is that like what, Habitat for Humanity kind of thing?
Yep, Habitat as well.
Okay.
Yep. So Forgotten Harvest is like a center, and Habitat, we go out and build and get to destroy stuff. That's the fun part.
Yeah. So, beat on your chest for a minute there. Okay.
I'm telling you, we got in there, got some hammers, and made some stuff happen.
Amen. Okay. Yeah. So June, and that's okay. So June, you guys are switching over and doing this. Okay. All right.
Yep. And that's my switch out.
Oh, you're not gonna be president?
Nah, I've done my time. I've taken it to a place now because we've had so many newer brothers come in, and I've kind of become the one giving the direction. Remember, we were talking about the car and stuff. So now, yep. So I'm still going to be actively involved in everything, but one of the pillars of Alpha Phi Alpha is developing leaders, so I can put my trust in these newer brothers to lead us into a place where I might not have been able to get us, but they can take it to the next level from where I got us to. So
how, yeah. I mean, without, giving us all the backroom conversations. But I'm assuming some of the younger brothers are bringing in, you know, like social media and all this new stuff. And then you've got the older brothers like, I don't know, that old newfangled stuff. Is it kind of difficult getting some of the on board and like, hey, let's go.
You know, it's so funny because a lot of my time after work and after like regular life, I spend time thinking like, okay, how can I make sure brother so-and-so is engaged? And it's just making sure that I make stuff easier for everybody, because of course the newer brothers and the younger brothers in age and mine, we're still on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and stuff. But then you have some brothers who are not, they're equipped to do it, but they just don't want to, you know, it's different. So it's a struggle, it's a push and pull struggle, but we definitely have brothers fill in as tech support, you know. Like like I said, my background is in IT, but I don't know if I've done it this much.
Yeah, I'm thinking I got like aunties and stuff like, you put a stamp on it, put it in the mail, and I'll be like, auntie, we don't do that. You ain't got no email. And
no. I'm telling you, and that's, you know, it's funny. That's one of the biggest things, like emails and calendar invites and just chapter meetings, like getting them logged on for chapter meetings and stuff. It was pretty much when the pandemic hit, it was a ground up type of thing. Like it was almost like recharting the chapter, just making sure people knew how to access their email and access the different calendars that we're putting out so that they are aware of what's going on, you know. So yeah, it's still
challenge
a big
challenge after challenge. This generation meeting this generation and saying, hello, how you doing? I commend you. I know behind the scenes there's been some hair pulling. Like, oh, these are my brothers. I love y'all. I love
y'all. I'm definitely counting my gray hairs. But
that's all right. It's all love. It's all love. Definitely. Now, I don't want to leave people with the impression that all alphas do is work. Although you guys do a lot of it. You guys do have some good times together. And I saw there was an event you guys have coming up, and I don't even know if it's a fundraiser or not. So I'm just assuming a lot of stuff. But you guys are all going to see Gem of the Ocean together?
Yes, we are going to see Gem of the Ocean, I think in maybe a week now, actually. Okay. Yep. So we have a partnership actually with the Detroit Repertory Theater.
Okay.
And if you know Motown, you know we're known for a lot of different show business as well. I mean, we talk about that, but we have a pretty big theater scene here as well. And that's something that we've tried to tap into with stuff like Gem of the Ocean, and it's basically called our Evening of the Arts series.
Okay.
And this is the next installment of it. So yeah, we are excited. It's a very intimate theater, so usually the plays will hold maybe 2 or 3 or 4 actors at the most. And they put on the show. It's very entertaining. I've been there a couple times now.
Okay. So. Just curious, is August Wilson an Alpha or one of the cast members at Alpha, or you guys just picked Gem of the Ocean? And
yeah, we just picked Gem of the Ocean based on it being an August Wilson play. So yeah, that's something that again, we're trying to kind of bridge that gap between our people and the arts. So letting them know that, hey, this is a whole nother lane that you may not have thought about as far as production, acting, you know, stage plays, stuff like that. So we definitely, we definitely look for different plays, of course, depending on what the theater offers. But we try and make sure people know about what's going on.
And I saw, of course, quite naturally, I saw you guys went together to see Wakanda, right?
Oh yeah, Wakanda
had to be there for that, right?
We actually rented out the theater, and you know, we tried to make sure people knew about that message too, like Chadwick, man, and even that whole movie, what it did for the culture. We had to make sure we made it available for people, because it was almost hard for us to get a date to show the movie, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah, those tickets were going. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I saw the pictures. You guys were there. The kids were there. It was like a whole family affair.
Oh yeah, that's one thing we're big on too. A brother once told me before I crossed, he said, God, family, work, then Alpha. So keeping God number one for us,
True.
and then family, you saw him. So
Yes, they were
yeah,
out deep. Y'all were deep with it. I love it.
we try to make sure we include them when we can.
I love it because, especially when it comes to how outsiders look at the Black community, they want to paint it like we don't hang out as a family. So
Right.
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Right.
Well, sir, I'm gonna wrap up here and ask you my random question. But before I do that, I have one last question to ask you.
Okay.
One last question to ask you. Years ago, many years ago, I think I want to say about 15 years ago, I was at a parade and I was standing next to a little young guy. He must have been about 9 years old. And at one point of the parade, a bunch of alphas marched by. And the young guy, he says, when I grow up, I want to be like them. They get all the ladies and they got them cool colors on their shirt and the cool letters. And all the adults around him, we all kind of chuckled and laughed. But in hindsight, I'm thinking we should have probably handled that better and made it a teachable moment. So if I could go back and you were there and you had to explain to the young guy what actually being an alpha man was all about, what would you say to him?
I would tell him that it's definitely, while I would have took what he said and made sure he knew the positives of it. So he might say, yeah, they have all the women, but we hold up the respect of womanhood. We wear the letters, but wearing the letters is a burden. And if any brothers are hearing me, they know what that means. Like the burden of being an alpha means that, of course, you're always on, but you're always upholding your aims, which are manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. So I would definitely tell them you can do it, but just know what you're looking to get into, because it some days I love it. Some days I'm like, all right, let me
take this off.
Let me take off the tape for a day.
I'm tired of this Superman stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world, but man, it is something.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like I said, I have watched you guys for years from undergrad and on, and you see the transition of manhood, because undergrad, it's a whole different mindset and mentality. And, you get older and you guys are truly putting in the servant work. It's just amazing to watch you guys in the community and the bond and just to be able to get a whole bunch of brothers on the same page, like we're gonna go out here and feed these people, or we're gonna go out here, that in itself is amazing. So I mean, it's just phenomenal. But it was just so cute. And he was like, yeah, they get all the ladies. I was like, okay.
Look, after that, I take them to our Alpha Esquire program. And like, yeah, look, you get to this. Start here, and then we're gonna go to school.
There's some more to it. There's some more to it. After you get the lady, you got to be able to keep her. So we got to put some education behind it and all that other stuff, right?
I'm telling you. You got to know your manners. You got to make sure they know you're the man and you're trying to be the protector, so.
That's right. That was so cute when he said that. I was like, that one gonna be trouble, okay? All right, so let me ask you your random question. So what you gonna do for the chapter after you're not gonna be president? You're gonna be treasurer, secretary, something? You're gonna just sit back and chill?
I've already done a lot of those roles. So with me, I'm still going to serve on a needed basis wherever I'm needed. But with it's one of those things where I feel like I've done a lot in this, and of course there's always more to be done, but I also want to see where it takes me afterwards, as far as more on the Michigan district level and region and even national. Yeah, so they still know where to find me, but I'm still gonna be like we need help in tech. So I'm definitely gonna get back in my role for that too. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
And I did not ask about
Mhm.
how large is your chapter? How many brothers are there about?
For my chapter, it's about 50. I think we're at 52 brothers.
Okay, decent
Yeah.
size. Enough to get the work done.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
And
Less is more sometimes.
is Southfield, Michigan mostly us?
Um, now, yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, not now. I would say now, yeah. It wasn't always like this, but
Okay.
that's the funny part. Like, for the some of the areas that are not, we'll come in there with our letters and colors on, and they're like, "Who are they?" So you're about
It's
to find out.
Yeah, you bet. It's amazing. It's always amazing to me when I run into people, like adult people, and they see like who are these guys with the thing? I'm like, you don't know who they are? Like
Right.
you've never encountered one before? Like what rock have you been living under? But oh well. You're gonna
Look,
learn today. You're gonna
I was
learn
about to say, just
today.
let people find out.
All right, so let's see what we got here.
Okay.
When it comes to toilet paper, is it over or under?
Whichever one,
Over.
yeah, over. The
Over.
one that's not
Okay.
touching the wall.
All right. We can still be friends then. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. I was like, depending on how he answered this, it's going to determine how this go. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty there, Mr. President Ellison. Please tell us how we connect with Southfield Alphas, and if we're ever up in the Michigan area, want to check you guys out, maybe hang out with you. Let us know how we hook up with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So we are online at southfieldalphas.org, Facebook and Instagram, the Southfield Alphas.
Awesome. Well, wishing you guys have had like 10 years now, wishing you 10 more and 10 more and 10 more. And, you keep on giving the other alumni chapters in the Detroit area to set the bar so high. They got to keep up with you and stuff like that. So I'm just wishing good stuff for you guys. And especially for you. I mean, Alpha is known for grooming leaders. So I'm assuming I will see you in the next 10 years just doing some amazing leadership things, right?
Hey, I hope so. I received that. We got a couple things working as far as my family and everything. So we're definitely going to try and put that best foot forward.
Awesome. I love it. Well, continued service and blessings to the whole chapter, all the brothers. It is not easy task. Like you said, some days, you just be like, I could be doing something else. There's a game on or something else, but you guys get out there and serve just time and time again. And there's people out there in the community that see you guys doing the good work. And I just want to applaud you guys and say thank you for what you do for your community. So thank you from below me.
We appreciate that. Honestly, we do it for whoever's there and whoever's needed. And we don't do it for the recognition, but it doesn't hurt.
I mean, I appreciate it because so many times they say Black men do not give back to their communities and others. So it's always nice and refreshing to run into large groups of brothers who are contrary to the stereotypes. So I appreciate you and the message that you sent.
Definitely. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
Awesome. Well, good thanks to you, sir.
Thanks.
That is all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time.